Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another live streaming of basic transfer pricing. Tonight, our topic would be about the accuracy-related penalty and also the net operating loss carry forward of the discussion on the case of Asat Inc. versus the Commissioner of Internal Revenue, which is US case, no? US case pa rin siya. Okay. I would like to say thank you po sa ating mga subscribers. Umabot na tayo ng 1,190, no? Hari? Okay, so shout out.
Meron na pala. Si Sir June Sarmiento. Good evening daw po, ma'am.
Okay.
Siya pa lang po, ma'am. Pero 4 viewers.
Okay, so shout out po sa ating 4 viewers and thank you very much, no? We will start with our discussion on the accuracy-related penalty. Ano po ba itong accuracy-related penalty? Accuracy-related penalty applies if you underpay, hindi mo binayaran, no? The tax required to be shown on your return. Underpayment may happen if you don't report all of your income or you claim deductions or credits for which you don't qualify. Ito yung you avoid the payment of taxes, no? Kaya lang accuracy-related penalty, binawasan mo yung income mo, dinagdagan mo naman yung claim deductions o ang deductions mo, no? Para lumiit yung income. So, ang may section ng Internal Revenue Code na nagbibigay sila ng penalty, which is what they call as accuracy-related penalty. No? Ano naman itong net operating loss carry forward? These are just like here sa atin ngayon, because of COVID, iba yung ating net operating loss carry over. Instead of, you can carry over the loss for 3 years. Ngayon, because of COVID, you can carry the loss up to 5 years, no? Because of the pandemic. So, let's discuss the case, no? This is about the Asat Incorporated is the petitioner in this case, and then the Commissioner of Internal Revenue is the respondent. This is United States Tax Court. So in this case, si petitioner here is the Asat, and respondent is the Commissioner of Internal Revenue. So in this case, si Asat Inc. is a wholly owned domestic subsidiary. So domestic subsidiary si Asat. It purchased assembly services from its parent. Sino naman yung parent niya? It's a foreign corporation, no? During the IRS audit of Asat 1991 Federal Corporate Income Tax Return, the IRS notified Asat that it would need to be appointed its parent's limited agent. No? Kasi may requirement sila na since subsidiary siya, dapat i-appoint siya as limited agent. No? Kasi subsidiary siya ng parent niya. Sino ba yung parent niya dito? Based in Hong Kong, no? So the IRS notified Asat that it would need to be appointed its parent's limited agent under Section 6038A-E1 IRC, no? Internal Revenue Code. So Asat did not obtain the authorization of agent kasi nag-a-act siya as agent ng parent company niya eh. Authorization of agent before R. Itong si respondent, si Commissioner of Internal Revenue. So, issued a notice of deficiency. Consequently, pursuant to Section 6038A, E3, IRC, which grants the Commissioner the authority to determine in her sole discretion the cost of goods sold and deductions. Kahit sa atin, may ganyan ding power yung ating Commissioner, no? Arising out of transactions between a domestic corporation and a related foreign corporation, respondent determined that PIS or the petitioner's Asat cost of goods sold should be decreased kasi overclaim. And P's cost of goods sold should be decreased and eliminated. And net operating loss, kailangan tanggalin yung net operating loss kasi kinire-forward niya, which originated from Asat 1989 and 1990 tax years. So in addition, the commissioner disallowed domestic corporation and applied the accuracy-related penalty. Ano yung accuracy-related penalty natin? If you underpay the tax required to be shown on your return, and it happens if you didn't report all your income or you claim deductions, no, na hindi ka naman qualified. Okay. Held. 6038A IRC applied to P for the year at issue. So, ang sabi ng court, yung provision na yon 6038 na mag-apply siya ng agent ng kanyang parent company should apply to Asat Inc. No? Held further that P or si Asat failed to obtain the authorization of agent required by Section 6038E1 IRC. Held also that si Asat did not abuse at na si Commissioner of Internal Revenue did not abuse her discretion when she adjusted P's cost of goods sold and net operating loss under Section 6038E3, no, IRC. Held also that P or Asad may not deduct the consulting fees as it did not prove that the expense was ordinary and necessary. So, dinisallow dito ang consulting fees. Held further that P is liable for the accuracy-related penalty. Meron silang na penalized dito na 81,000, no, for accuracy-related penalty. Okay. Okay, so respondent in this case determined a deficiency in petitioner's federal income tax in the amount of 407,592 and an accuracy-related penalty for the taxable year ending April 30, 1991. So, magkano yun? 81,518. Although respondent gave alternative grounds for its adjustment and the notice of deficiency, her first ground is regard to petitioner's cost of goods sold and net operating loss was Section 6038E3, which grants the commissioner the authority to determine in her sole discretion the cost of goods sold and expenses arising out of transactions between a domestic corporation and a related foreign corporation. No? So the Section 6038A issues. No? So, as a resolution of that provision, issues could negate the need for a trial of issues involving Section 482. Ano yung Section 482? Ito yung transfer pricing, no? Was an alternative ground for the adjustment, no? We conducted a separate trial of the Section 6038A issues. With this background in mind, the issues for decision are: number one, whether Section 6038A applies to petitioner for its tax year pending April 30, 1991. So yung tax year niya dito na under dispute is 1991. No? Number two, whether there was a failure to authorize petitioner as its parent agent under Section 6038E1. And whether respondent determination under Section 6038E3, reducing petitioner's cost of goods sold by 1,494,437 was an abuse of discretion. Sino may abuse of discretion dito? The Commissioner of Internal Revenue. No? So yun yung ipoprove nila. Dami na namang lamok hari. Whether respondents determination under Section 6038E3, eliminating petitioners in OL carry forward of 165,147, ito yung net operating loss, no, carry over, was an abuse of discretion. Abuse of discretion ba yun na dinisallow siya? Dito. dinisallow siya ng Commissioner of Internal Revenue, yung net operating loss niya carry over. Yan sa likod. Yan dyan sa baba. No? Was an abuse of discretion. So whether petitioner may deduct consulting fees of 280,922. Ito yung deductions na dinisallow, no? So, pwede ba? And whether petitioner is liable for the accuracy-related penalty, baka nandun na yun lumipad. No? Ang bilis lumipad ng mga lamok eh. So, references to abuse of description, unless otherwise indicated, are in the context of Section 6038. Okay, so findings of fact. Dito na tayo sa findings of fact, no? Kasi maganda yung case. What happened, and then yung ano ba yung finding of facts, ano ba yung nangyari, no? Why? Kasi sa mga transfer pricing cases na under litigation, factual, hindi yung mga kung ano-anong pwede lang na mga interpretations. Dito factual, no? Kaya may findings of fact. Ayun. So, petitioner Asat Inc. is a corporation organized under the laws of California. Si Asat, no? Makita niyo ngayon ano yung kanyang corporate structure, no? Na talagang ginulo din. At the time the petition was filed, its principal place of business was in Palo Alto, California, no? Petitioner organizational structure, ano yung org structure niya? So makita nyo dito. Noong 1988 to June 30, 1992, a period which includes petitioner fiscal year ended April 30, 1991, the year in issue, petitioner was a wholly owned subsidiary of Asat Limited. So si Asat Inc., subsidiary siya ni Asat Limited. Saan naman to si Asat Limited? Sa Hong Kong, no? A Hong Kong corporation. During its fiscal year ended April 30, 1991, Asat Limited was 85% owned by a subsidiary of QPL International Holding Limited. No? So, si QPL. Si Asat Limited naman, ang may-ari sa kanya si QPL International Holding Limited. No? Si Asat Limited, siya yung may-ari kay Asat Inc. Okay. Sino naman to si QPL International Holding Limited? A Bermuda Corporation. So ano ba yung Bermuda? With offices in Hong Kong. Mr. Lee Tong Lok, Mr. Lee was chairman of the board and the largest single shareholder of QPL during 1990 and 1991. So si Mr. Lee ang may-ari, no? Kasi siya yung largest shareholder. Yeah. Petitioner became 95% owned by Worldtech International Limited. So, si QPL naman, si petitioner naman, si Asat Inc., naging owned siya ng Worldtech International. No? It's a domestic corporation organized in California. When Worldtech purchased 95% of petitioner's stock, no, binili niya kay Asat Limited. Directly from petitioners on July 15, 1992. So, November 9, 1994, QPL acquired 100%. Ako, binili na ni QPL si Worldtech. No? So, since binili na niya si Worldtech, so sino na yung may-ari din ngayon kay sino na ngayon yung may-ari kay Asat Inc.? Si QPL pa rin, no? Domestic corporation organized in California. So when Worldtech purchased 95% of petitioner's stock directly from petitioner in July 15, 1992, on November 9, 1994, QPL acquired 100% of the stock of Worldtech. No? So hence, petitioner once again became an indirect subsidiary of QPL. No? So ikot-ikot lang yung mga ownership ng shares of stock sa kanila. Kasi, bibilhin ngayon, itong isa, related party. Mamaya-maya, bibili na naman natin. So, restructuring, no? Petitioner located semiconductor companies or customers that wanted their semiconductor dies put into an assembly package. These customers contracted with petitioner for assembly services. So yun yung kanilang business, no? To be provided by Asat Limited. So petitioners' foreign parent customers provided the product by drop shipment, no, directly to Asat Limited in Hong Kong for assembly. Petitioners coordinated the transaction, sometimes handling the freight forwarding. Asat Limited invoiced petitioner which then invoiced its customer for the agreed upon purchase price, no, the contract price. After the customer paid petitioner the contract price, petitioner paid the invoice received from Asat Limited by remitting 94% of the contract price to Asat Limited, retaining 6% for itself. So during the fiscal year immediately prior to the year in issue, petitioner paid Asat Limited 100% of the amount collected, no, from petitioner's customers. Petitioner reported its receipt of the contract price on its 1991 federal corporate income tax return, no, or tax return as gross receipts or sales. Petitioner reported its payment to Asat Limited for assembly services under cost of goods sold. No? So, nandoon yung account. Saan niya nilagay yung kanyang payment to Asat Limited? Sa cost of goods sold. So, ibig sabihin, direct cost, no? Okay. The 6% written portion of the contract price will sometimes be referred to as the gross profit spread. May retain sila na 6%, no? Doon sa contract price. For convenience, petitioner and respondent refer to the gross profit spread as a commission and to the 6% amount as the commission rate. Okay. A trial and on brief for convenience. Although the gross profit spread is similar to a commission, we are dealing with respondent's determination of the proper amount of petitioner's payment to its parent, not with the proper amount of a commission paid by the parent of petitioner. So, ganyan din yung nangyari dun sa UPS, di ba? Na meron din silang AVC or yung extra charges nila na hindi nila sinasama. And it total millions of dollars, no? The reason petitioner remitted the entire contract price to Asat Limited in the tax year ending April 30, 1990 is not in the record. So, dito siguro, kasi mga 1990s ito, yung kanilang documentation is not so much, unlike now na talagang very tedious yung documentation requirements natin sa transfer pricing. The characterization of the payment in question as cost of goods sold rather than as a deduction does not affect Asat Limited. Asat Limited had no sales. Had no sales people located in the United States. So wala siyang marketing, no? During its fiscal year ended December 30, 1991, petitioner made purchases on behalf of Asat Limited. There were no written agreements between petitioner and Asat Limited. Saan itong Asat Limited? Di ba ito yung sa Hong Kong, no? Itong under dispute natin is Asat Inc. Ito yung nasa US. So regarding the purchases petitioner made on Asat Limited's behalf, so petitioner paid for all advertising in the United States for itself and Asat Limited. Internal Revenue Service audit of petitioner. So under audit na si Asat Inc. No? So what happened? Respondent's examination of petitioner's tax year ending April 30, 1991, hereinafter the examination began when a notification of the examination, parang letter of authority sa atin, no? The examination was sent to petitioner on July 17, 1992. The examination continued until December 31, 1994. No? The date the statutory notice of deficiency was issued. Itong si Nanette Alexander Hamilton was the international examiner who examined petitioner's tax return for the tax year ended April 30, 1991. No? So during the examination, Miss Hamilton met with petitioner's tax counsel, itong si Martin Shibom, and with Fee Maliwat, no? Robert Borowski, and Conrad Shapol. All representatives of petitioner. Ang dami niyang representative, no? Si Asat Inc. Ms. Maliwat was petitioner's controller from April 13, 1991 to December 31, 1992. In addition to providing documents to Ms. Hamilton, Ms. Maliwat responded to inquiries and explained certain aspects of petitioner's business operation. So, knowledgeable si Faye Maliwat doon sa operation ng Asat Inc. Mr. Borowski was petitioner's counsel and corporate secretary during the examination. Corporate secretary siya, no? At the same time, counsel. Mr. Shapol has been petitioner's chief financial officer, CFO, and senior executive vice president from January 1, 1993 to the present. So prior to 1993, Mr. Shapol was president of Worldtech. President of Worldtech. Si Worldtech yun yung may-ari ng Asat, no? During the examination, Ms. Hamilton issued all information document request, no? Si Ms. Hamilton to petitioner. Ms. Hamilton asked for the agreements and the basis of how the pricing, ito na yung documentation ito yung transfer pricing analysis, no? And the basis of how the pricing, commissions, and service rates were established between petitioner and Asat Limited, as well as agreement between petitioner, so Asat Limited and unrelated parties. Petitioner never provided these documents, though petitioner provided copies of invoices to show actual pricing. So, ano lang, ang pinakita nila, invoices lang. By letter dated October 23, 1992, kaya, alam nyo, pagdating na sa mga tax cases, panalo talaga yung may dokumento. Once na wala kang documents, expect mo na pagdating sa korte, talo ka talaga. No? That's why, anong sabi ng OECD? Tell your clients, tell your taxpayers to invest in documentation. Kasi, kahit anong galing pa ng abogado mo, kung wala kang records na ipapakita during investigation, wala talaga. Kahit na sino pa yung mag-claim na magaling sa audit, no? Talo ka pa rin pag wala kang documents. No? Ms. Hamilton asked for the agreements and the basis of how the pricing, commissions, and service rates were established between petitioner and Asat, no? Limited, as well as agreement between petitioner, Asat Limited, and unrelated parties. O kasi malalaking transactions and then walang agreement. Petitioner never provided these documents. Hindi sila nagbigay ng documents. So what happened? Though petitioner provided copies of invoices to show actual pricing, invoices lang yun eh. So by letter dated October 23, 1992, Ms. Hamilton advised petitioner's tax counsel that she relied on Section 6038A as her authority to request the documents. Ms. Hamilton requested a worldwide organization chart. Okay, so yun na. Worldwide organization chart. Pwede ba niyang hingin yan eh, ang ini-examine niya yung nasa US lang na Asat Inc., no? Pero in this case, nanghingi na siya ng worldwide organizational chart. Hong Kong income tax returns, pati yung Hong Kong income tax return, ano yung basis niya? Section 6038A. An audited financial statement of Asat Limited. Asat Limited is the related party, no, ng Asat Inc. Covering the period under examination. So internal financial statements of Asat Limited, broken down by product line and subsidiary location, and business plans. Very specific yung request ni Ms. Hamilton, yun yung examiner, no? Broken down by product line, ito na yung sinasabi natin ng mga segmented financial statement, no? Segmented information. So broken down, so may breakdown by product line and subsidiary location. Imagine Kaya nga, pag nag-lecture tayo sa transfer pricing, ano sinasabi natin? Be ready with your source documents, especially when segmented financial statements or segmented information is required, no? Para meron kayo basis. So, anong pinagawa dito na segmented information? Ito yung breakdown by product line and subsidiary location. Ano yung subsidiary location? Ito yung mga related parties nila kung saan-saang lugar, no? And business plans, market studies, feasibility studies, corporate minutes. Imagine, alam niyo pag ikaw yung auditor, lahat na lang na maalala mo, sige, sulat required, no? Ang kawawa yung nagko-comply. Conducted or developed by Asat Limited. So in relation to the organization and expectations for petitioner. This documentation was requested again. Dalawang beses niya ni-require, ni-request requested again in a section 6038A summons issued on October 5, 1993. So, the request ulit. During a meeting on September 24, 1992, Mr. Shibom advised Ms. Hamilton that petitioner would not produce the information. Grabe, no? Requested on the grounds that the taxpayer is not Asat Limited. Ayaw niyang magbigay kasi hindi naman daw yun Asat Limited. So, ang ibig niya sabihin, the authority of the examiner is confined only to Asat Inc. No? Lawyer itong kausap eh. No? So, during the meeting on September 24, 1992, Ms. Hamilton advised Ms. Maliwat of Section 6038A. So, ito naman yung basis ni Ms. Hamilton, yung Section 6038A ng Internal Revenue Code. Why she requested those documents? That respondent had the authority to request documents concerning Asat Limited, and that she needed the documents to conduct the investigation, the examination. So, yun yung contention naman kasi nag-meeting sila. No? The worldwide organization chart, the Hong Kong income tax return, audited financial statements, and certain internal financial statements of Asat Limited were provided to respondent on October 17, 1995. Ang tagal, no? Ni-request 1992, 1993, binigay 1995. Ay. So, after the statutory notice of deficiency was issued, nag-issue lang sila noong binigyan na sila ng deficiency notice. No business plans, market studies, feasibility studies, or corporate minutes were provided to respondent. No? So, we cannot tell from the record whether these items existed or were in the possession of petitioner. So, Ms. Hamilton notified petitioner's representatives, including Mr. Borowski, during a meeting on June 14, 1993, that she was considering an upward adjustment. So, anong gagawin mo? Di ba sa best evidence obtainable dito sa yung na-discuss sa seminar or webinar on tax agent, yung Kuhan principle, no? Ano yung Kuhan principle? The best evidence obtainable. Pagka walang documents, yung taxpayer presented during the examination, then the examiner will resort to the Kuhan rule or the Kuhan principle, which, ano yun? Best evidence obtainable. Kung ano yung nandyan, yun ang basis mo, and then you will assess. No? Ang dami. Sa hangin yan eh. Sobrang hangin dito nagtago. That she was considering an upward adjustment in petitioners' gross profit spread to 14% by lowering its cost of goods sold. Yan na yung findings ni Ms. Hamilton. No? Mag-upward adjustment siya because the gross profit spread to 14%, lower mo yung cost of goods sold. Once the cost of goods sold is lowered, siyempre, tataas yung gross profit. Pag tumaas yung gross profit, tataas yung net income. Pag tumaas yung net income, tataas yung payment of income tax. No? Okay. Petitioner's business as described a petitioner's representative to Ms. Hamilton. Kasi during investigation, hindi lang naman document yung pwede mong investigate eh. pati persons, no, orally, pwede rin. So during the examination, Ms. Hamilton was told by Mr. Borowski and Ms. Maliwat that petitioner provided advertising for the assembly services of Asat Limited. No? So during the initial interview of the examination, Mr. Borowski advised Ms. Hamilton that petitioner's business was contract representative services for Asat Limited. No? So contract representative. So kaya pala nanghingi na sila na agent. No? So during the initial interview, Ms. Hamilton recorded in her notes that she was told by Mr. Borowski and Ms. Maliwat that petitioner was at risk of loss if collection of accounts receivable was not made. So, malulugi sila, no? Kasi may accounts receivable sila pag hindi na kolekta. That petitioner provided warranties for the assembly services of Asat Limited. Sila yung nagbibigay ng warranties, no, sa kay Asat Limited, yung related party. And that petitioner provided a 30-day warranty on workmanship and labor. Nalulugi nga siya kasi hindi niya magawa. Siya yung nagbibigay ng warranty. Ms. Maliwat explained to Ms. Hamilton that petitioner purchased. Alam niyo, ginagawa ko rin to nung ako pa yung nag-i-examine. No? Nag-i-interview ako ng mga sales girl, interview ng mga owner mismo, interview ng accountants. But sometimes, alam nyo, ayoko mag-interview ng accountant. Hindi rin niya alam. Why? Kasi darating sa kanya, dokumento lang, record lang siya. Kung sino talaga yung mas nakakaalam. Mas nakakaalam pa yung clerk, no? Ang araw-araw nandun sa place of business ng taxpayer, no? So, Ms. Maliwat explained to Ms. Hamilton that petitioner purchased on behalf of Asat Limited some materials and equipment. No? Siya yung nagpo-purchase, no, in behalf of Asat Limited. Sino yung Asat Limited? Ito yung based ng Hong Kong. However, the purchasing effort did not require substantial time or effort as there was probably only 5 purchases a week. Imagine 5 purchases a week. So, kung titingnan mo, doon sa issue naman natin sa permanent establishment, di ba, pagka regular na yung activity ng permanent establishment, magiging taxable na siya. Pero mo, yung purchases niya is 5 purchases a week. IRS application of Section 6038A, Notice of Non-Compliance. On November 25, 1992, respondent sent a certified letter to petitioner and petitioner's counsel requesting that petitioner is authorized as agent of Asat Limited, no? Pursuant to the provision of Section 6038A, E1, and Section 1.6038A-5, Income Tax Regulations. So, in respondent issued the request for authorization of agent to petitioner, Wartec owned 90% of petitioner's stock. No? So, ganun talagang ginagawa nila. Itong company na to, owned by another company. That company, owned by another company, yung parang sanga-sanga. No? Petitioner advised respondent by letter dated January 26, 1993, that agency status has not been granted to Asat Inc. No? So, hindi siya nag-grant ng agency status kasi siya nga yung mga namimili, no, ng purchasing arm ng Asat Limited from Asat Limited. Petitioner did not, however, obtain an authorization of agent from Asat Limited on July 26, 1995 after the notice of deficiency was issued. Kasi ganun sa related parties. Although, outside, there are formalities, but for purposes na sila-sila lang din, no? Or same owner lang din, hindi na sila very particular on the documentation. So, on June 14, 1993, respondent sent petitioner a certified letter notifying petitioner that respondent was considering application of Section 603A3, thereafter sometimes referred to as the non-compliance penalty. So, yun na, propose na ng penalty si Ms. Hamilton for failure to provide an authorization of agent, no? So, non-compliance penalty. Kasi, naging agent siya kasi siya yung namimili, no, ng purchases ng Asat Limited. So January 3, 1994, respondent sent petitioner a certified letter notifying petitioner that she had applied the non-compliance penalty because petitioner had not provided respondent with its appointment as agent for Asset Limited, and that the non-compliance penalty would be reflected in a notice of deficiency. No? So kasama na dun sa deficiency yung non-compliance penalty. Respondent also informed petitioner that she would be applying the non-compliance penalty for failure to comply with the summon that she issued to petitioner. So, hindi pinansin pala yung summon yan, no? So, dito sa atin, anong gagawin? Kung ipafile yan sa court, at saka pag hindi pa rin pinansin, contempt of court, no? May kulong na. Although the kulong is 4 months. Okay. Information in Commissioner's possession. At the initial interview of the examination on August 26, 1992, petitioner's representatives provided Ms. Hamilton with the following documents. A. Advertising brochures and folders. No? So, table of contents, organization, Asat Inc., chart of accounts. No? Si Asat Inc., ito yung sa US. No? Ito yung talagang under investigation. Trial balance, 1991. Asat Inc. General Ledger, 1991. Cash receipt, 1991. Asat Inc. Cash disbursement, 1991. Asat Inc. Sales journal, 1991. Asat Inc. Freight invoice journal, 1991. And then adjusting entries, no? Asat Inc. Intercompany transactions. Interco, 1989 and 1990. Form 1120, 1989, and Form 1120, 1990. So, yun yung pinakita niya. So, if you try to look at dun sa mga requirements na binigay niya, talagang nakakonfine lang siya ay Asat Inc. Ayaw niyang ibigay yung information ng mga ibang related companies. Kasi si Asat Inc. nga naman is only a subsidiary. Huh? All of these documents were in respondent's possession at the time the notice of deficiency was issued. Respondent also had the following documents in her possession when the notice of deficiency was issued. A. Correspondence between petitioner, no? Petitioner's counsel and respondent. And then notes taken by Mr. Hamilton. Also, initial interview questions and notes of the initial interview. No? The Manufacturing Agents National Association or MANA Materials. Dance Market Identifier for Petitioner dated August 25, 1992 and a copy of Petitioner Tax Return for the fiscal year ended April 30, 1992. Sa likod, Hari. Sa likod dito. Petitioner did not provide to respondent any budget plans, work plans, business plans, hindi talaga nagbigay, no? Or other documents showing the expected income and expenses of petitioner for the years ending April 30, 1989 through April 30, 1992. Nor did petitioner provide to respondent any price list or price guidelines showing the prices charged by petitioner and or Asat Limited to third parties. So, hindi cooperative yung taxpayer, no? Ang dami niyang hindi binibigay. Doon sa mga request ng examiner, hindi niya binibigay yung request. So, petitioner did not make available to respondent any advertising copy, press releases, brochures, videos, or other documents distributed to third parties concerning the services offered by either petitioner or Asat Limited, no, during the years. During the examination, Ms. Hamilton requested information, and daming request ni Ms. Hamilton, no? Regarding how petitioner's gross profit spread was set on sales of Asat Limited. No? Assembly services, neither petitioner nor Asat Limited provided any documentation to Ms. Hamilton regarding how petitioner's gross profit spread was set on sales of Asat Limited assembly services. So petitioner did not provide Ms. Hamilton with any information as to which company petitioner or Asat Limited set the gross profit spread. Oh, hindi sila talaga cooperative, no? Kasi ano yung hinihingi ni Ms. Hamilton, hindi nila binibigay. So during the examination, petitioner did not provide respondent with any documentation on petitioner's anticipated cost, profits, or break-even points, no, from its transaction with Asat Limited. We cannot tell whether this information was not available or was not in existence. No? Bakit talagang wala? Petitioner did not provide Ms. Hamilton with an analysis or projection of income or expenses for petitioner. Pati yung projection ng income or expenses, wala rin. No? So petitioner did not know what commission rate it would need to charge Asat Limited in order to be profitable. Hindi niya alam. Kasi subsidiary lang siya ni Asat Limited. So in short, in this case, Asat Inc. in US is only doing services to Asat Limited in Hong Kong. No? Application of Section 6038A. The Internal Revenue Manual provides procedures for use and application of Section 6038A. Ms. Hamilton followed that Internal Revenue Manual procedures during the examination in this case. Okay. So during the examination, Ms. Hamilton was also auditing another taxpayer that provided services similar to those provided by petitioner. That is, selling the integrated circuit assembly services of its foreign parent. The other taxpayer received a commission rate ranging from 11 to 15%. So ito naman si Ms. Hamilton, hindi pa uso noon yung paggawa ng transfer pricing analysis, nag-benchmark na siya because at the same time, meron din siyang taxpayer na under audit, no? Same industry with Asat Inc. So, ano ginawa niya? Nag-benchmark na siya, no? A commission rate ranging from 11 to 15%. Nagbibigay ng commission. The other taxpayer had 3 separate divisions. 2 of these divisions were distribution of goods. The third division was similar to petitioner in that it found customers for the integrated circuit assembly services of the foreign parent. No? So there was separate accounting for its activity. The division which found customers for the services of the foreign parent had no warehousing expenses and no inventory. Okay. So to assist in her determination as to the appropriate amount of petitioner's gross profit spread, Ms. Hamilton consulted with an economist. Ayan. Alam niyo, napakalaki ng role ng economist sa transfer pricing. Oh, why? Because transfer pricing is economic taxation. So, yung role ng economist in the analysis of the economic conditions, napakalaki. So, Ms. Hamilton consulted with an economist employed by respondent. No? Yung economist pa ni Asat, yun yung doon pa siya nagtanong, no, si Ms. Hamilton. Si Ron McGinley. During the examination, Ms. Hamilton related to Mr. McGinley what petitioner's representative told her about petitioner's business and what petitioner's functions were with respect to its sales. Mr. McGinley provided Ms. Hamilton with information from the examination of another taxpayer presenting an issue concerning services rendered similar to that in petitioner's case. Mr. McGinley advised Ms. Hamilton that based upon the functions performed and risk borne by petitioner, a gross profit spread of 10 to 15% was appropriate. Actually, yung spread nila dito sa gross profit is 14%, no? So during the examination, Mr. McGinley provided copies of the following documents to Ms. Hamilton. 1992 Mana Research Bulletin Survey of Sales Commissions. So ito na yung comparables nila, no? The 1990 Mana Research Bulletin Survey of Sales Commissions, no? And then the articles entitled Compensating Manufacturers Agents, Guidelines for Determining Agency Commissions, Fees and Incentive Progress. Kasi dapat naman talaga may commission, no? Yung agent niya. Ang problema, si Asat Inc., hindi rin niya designated as agent. No? So, an article entitled Guidelines for Determining Agency Commissions, Fees, Incentives, Programs. 1992 Mana Survey of Manufacturer Sales Agency Annual Revenues and Expenses. So, since economist si Mr. Hamilton, Mr. McGinley, ang dami niyang binigay na economic information or economic data to Ms. Hamilton, which can help in the audit. No? The Mana Research Bulletin provide data concerning the sales commission charged by agents to their principals. Kasi agent naman talaga sa totoong setup, agent naman talaga si Asat Inc. Ang problema, hindi siya inauthorized, no? So as in, hindi siya agent. Okay. The Mana Research Bulletin states, typically an agent and manufacturer will offer what they feel is a fair rate for the work to be done when they negotiate their contract. But in general, fair is a figure whereby both parties can make money and where both are pleased with the arrangement. No? So, ayun yung sinasabi niya. Agent. The important point to remember is that a commission rate should be determined empirically to ensure that you and your agencies can make money, read profits. No? So decide specifically what the agent is expected to do in order to receive his basic commission compensation. Determine what services, in addition to those needed to determine the basic commission rate, will be needed. No? Determine whether the additional services will be paid for as increased commissions or as special fees. No? The one factor that ultimately rules the marketplace is whether or not the agent feels he or she can make a decent living with a given commission. So, kasi in the case ni Asat Inc., very limited yung mga benefits na binibigay sa kanya. Hindi at par with the benefits na binibigay sa kagaya niya na agent din. No? So while many agents receive most of their income as sales commissions, many are also paid fees for special services. No? So the typical manufacturer's agency today is as likely to perform some special marketing tasks for its principal as it is to do its main job of selling the products. So Mr. Hamilton interpreted the Mana Research Bulletin as making it clear that if entities perform additional functions, they should be compensated. No? Additionally compensated for those functions. So dapat talaga si Asat Inc., hindi lang ganun yung compensation na dapat niya ma-receive because marami siyang ginagawa para sa parent company niya, which is the Asat Limited. No? Okay. The Mana Research Bulletin reports sales commission rates in the categories high, low, and average. So in the product category of electronic technical products, the Mana Research Bulletin show commission ranges of 6.97% to 12.9%. So, yun yung range ng commission. 12.19% in 1990 and 7.32% to 12.3% in 1992. So, the average rates in those years were 9.58% and 9.81%, respectively. Petitioner performed functions and other activities in addition to selling the services of Asat Limited. Okay. Ms. Hamilton read the Mana materials prior to determining her adjustment to petitioner's gross profit spread. Ms. Hamilton prepared a what-if scenario. No? So parang in advance mo na lang na what-if scenario, no? Showing the resulting profit attributable to petitioner for gross profit spread of 10% through 15%. In her report on Form 4665, report transmittal, Ms. Hamilton states, providing a commission, no, gross profit spread, in the upper range ensures that the TP will report profits from its activities. No? Okay. So, profit talaga. In no case should the commission be reduced below 10%. 10% is the lowest commission which could result in profit. What if scenario work paper? So if the gross profit spread was below 10%, there would be no tax liability. No? Lugi ka na eh. Ms. Hamilton testified that there would be no need to process the case if no additional tax liability would result. No? Sayang lang yung pagod mo. Ms. Hamilton was guided by temporary regulations under Section 482 which indicated that ranges should be used. No? Pwede namang ranges range of comparables, no? Or profit level indicators. Even though she believed the regulations did not apply retroactively. As a result of the examination and based upon the information she had, Ms. Hamilton determined that based on the additional functions petitioners perform, it should receive a gross profit spread above the average commission rate shown in the Mana Research Bulletin for sales services alone. So for the additional services and functions, Ms. Hamilton determined that petitioner should be compensated an additional 5% above the average rate of approximately 10% as shown in the Mana materials. Pagka binayaran ka ng related parties mo na hindi arm's length, no? So yun ang magiging issue dito. Kasi si Asat Inc., ginawa siyang agent ni Asat Limited pero hindi siya binabayaran, no? At arm's length. Hindi siya binibigyan ng commission. Ms. Hamilton was told by Mr. Borowski that in his opinion, the industry average for this type of commission, gross profit spread was 5%. No? Ms. Hamilton knew of Mr. Borowski 20 years of experience in the industry. Okay. Mr. Hamilton considered Mr. Borowski's opinion but did not adopt it in forming her conclusion. No? So, i-consider mo lang, but pwede namang hindi mo na i-adapt, no? Deficiency notice. So, the notice of deficiency was mailed to petitioner on December 31, 1994. And consulting fees, no? Si Mr. Lee contracted a friend, Mr. Chappell, president and 50% shareholders of Voltec. Okay? Sila-sila lang din, related parties, no? And therefore, hired Voltec, na pumasok na si Voltec, to perform an evaluation of review petitioner. So during 1990 and 1991, two employees of Voltec, Mr. Combs and Mr. Smith, performed services that were billed to petitioner. Okay. Mr. Combs worked half-time for Voltec and half-time for petitioner. So hati-hati lang. There were no written contracts relating to the hiring or retention of working employees by petitioner during 1990 and 1991. So Voltec sent petitioner the following invoices, no? Description, 1990. Consultant fees for W.D. Smith for the calendar year, months of November. So magkano yun? 31,000. Okay. Consulting fees for W.D. Smith and Edward Combs for the month of February 1991. So, mahal siya, 51,000. All the rest, yung iba, 31,000 lang. No? Consultant fees for W.D. Smith and Edward Combs for the calendar month of March. Consultation fees for W.D. Smith and Edgar Combs for the calendar month of April. To bill for consulting fees for the month of April 1991. No? Okay, so ganun na kamahal yung kanilang consulting fees. These invoices were marked either payable upon receipt or payable on site. No? So, handwritten notations on the invoices indicate that petitioner paid them promptly. Okay. Okay. Walang shoutout?
Meron po.
O sige, shoutout muna.
Shoutout po kay Sir Eugene Cruz.
Oo, di ba nasa paddling siya? May ano pa doon? Yung signal?
Hindi ko lang po.
Okay.
Shoutout din po kay Jedaya Cruz. Kay Christine May Borais from Pangasinan.
Okay.
Ina Official, Maria Teresa Vallo from Pangasinan.
Okay.
Jedaya Cruz from Pangasinan din.
Wow.
Opo. Ma'am,
Sila yung sa Dagupan College?
opo.
Mm.
Di ma'am, Pinma University sila eh.
FINMA. Okay. Okay. Thank you for watching.
Opo. Kay Ma'am LB Galanido, good evening.
Wow. Always talaga si Ma'am LB. Pasya lang kita dyan sa Bohol. Basta ma-vaccine na ako. Sige. Next year pa po. Kasi tapusin ko pa yung international taxation. Okay.
Kay Joshua Arce from Pangasinan.
Okay.
Kay Ma'am Lindy Olympia from Pangasinan din po.
Okay.
Joanne Vergara from Pangasinan.
Okay.
Angel Rhea Lalas from Pangasinan. Ira Saludo, Pangasinan. Joanna May Gorospe from Pangasinan.
Galing naman. Bilib ako sa taga-Pangasinan na to. No?
Kay Razel Gallema from Pangasinan. Rezan Joy Mejia from Pangasinan.
Padalhan natin sila ng transfer pricing book, ha? I-chat mo sila, ilan sila. Kasi tayo na magbayad.
Apo.
Ilan ba yan sila? Ano lang yung address nila, paabigyan natin sila ng transfer pricing book. Kasi even if 2013 pa yung book, but all the basics nandyan pa. No? Sige, chat mo sila.
Apo.
Kay That is free, ha? Free yan. Bibigyan namin sa inyo.
Apo. Kay Meliris Humamoy, Pangasinan.
Okay.
Erica Concepcion Frias from Pangasinan. Rose Ann Bernabe from Pangasinan. Kathleen Joy de Guzman from Pangasinan. Chrislyn from Pangasinan. And kay Jim Carlo Bautista. Pati po kay Erica Vidal from Pangasinan. Kay M. Lords from Tanay Rizal.
Okay. Sige, basta sila lahat, i-chat mo sila. Pahingi ka mo ng ano nyo, ng mga address nyo kasi ano namin yan sa inyo yung ano bang tawag doon? Basta bigay namin sa inyo parang 100 plus lang naman sa LBC, di ba? Mga ilan sila? Oh, yun, 2,000 plus lang eh. No? Pati yung sa Tanay Rizal, bigyan mo rin. Okay. Thank you very much, ha? Thank you very much for watching. No? Kasi, actually, maganda itong case ng Asat Inc., no? Gusto ko na nga siyang putulin because i-discuss naman natin siya next time, no? Sa August na. Kasi, next week na tayo ulit, no? Maganda tong case ng Asat Inc. Pero this is a case na 1992 o 1991 pa. If you try to look at now, iba na ang mga terminologies ng transfer pricing, no? And you are invited sa tax updates ng transfer pricing, no? Transfer pricing updates. We will discuss the tax on digitization. Ang ganda. Why? Kasi meron na sila na nabuo, which is meron ng mga computation, no? So, i-implement na talaga yan. And that tax on digitization, yung target nila, fully implemented siya ng 2023. But right now, ano na, meron na. And some tax jurisdictions, 48 tax jurisdictions or countries, iti-train na talaga ng kanilang mga tax officers, no? Okay. So, ito yung sa opinion na to eh. We will continue discussing this on Monday, no? So that would be part 2 of this case of Asat Inc. versus Commissioner of Internal Revenue. No? So, going back to the accuracy, no? Yung accuracy-related penalty, ito yung penalties that will apply kung i-underpay mo yung tax required to be shown in your return. Ibig sabihin lang, in-underpay mo, hindi mo dineclare yung ibang income, no? Parang nangyari sa Coca-Cola, nagkaroon sila ng invoice splitting. Ito, nangyayari din dito, no? Yung underpay at saka yung sa UPS, yung United Parcel, no? Services na Amerika, ganun din. Yung EBC nila, yung extra charges nila na kung ilan-ilang milyon hindi rin nila sinama sa gross income, which is dapat siya isama in order to be taxed, no? So, in this case, meron silang hindi sinama na income, and then may mga deductions sila na overclaim or kinlaim nila na hindi dapat. That's why they were subjected to accuracy-related penalty. No? So, with that, I would like to say thank you po kasi meron pa tayong webinar on tax agent tomorrow, no? That is a 6-day seminar. So, mag-review pa tayo. So, I would like to say thank you very much, and yung mga viewers natin ngayon, no, padalhan, i-text nyo lang or i-message nyo na yung address ninyo, and tomorrow padalhan po namin kayo ng basic transfer pricing book. Thank you very much, and